First home buyers flood the Sydney market. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. Let's look at this news.com article discussing first home buyers keeping the Sydney property market afloat during the pandemic. Now, I'll just bring up this little chart here showing the CoreLogic median house prices. You can see here the house value for Sydney, the median is $866,000. Sydney ain't cheap. It is not cheap by any measure to live in. So, we've had government stimulus and support, and they're chucking money at property. It's what they do. It's what happens in Australia, guys. You know, you're crazy if you don't have 10 properties all negative geared paying interest only, because property always goes up. Unless, of course, it's apartments in Sydney or student accommodation out in Ipswich, that's flooding, all these fantastic examples that we've looked at recently. So first home buyers keep the Sydney market afloat during the pandemic. The strengths of the first home buyer market is one of the key reasons the Sydney residential property market is in better shape now than almost every commentator has expected. Well, no. It's not the first home buyers. It's the support that's chucked at the first home buyers to get them to jump in the market. The strength of the fact that our interest rates is at the lowest it's ever been. This isn't natural. The strength of the first home buyer market is one of the key reasons Sydney residential property is in better shape now than almost every commentator has expected. As part of the federal government's plan to rebuild the economy, an additional $10,000 first home buyers are now able to purchase a new home under the first home loan deposit scheme. I mean, this is terrifying. This deposit scheme, you only need 5% to get in a home, and they'll pay the mortgage insurance. They'll pay. I mean, think about that, guys. Think about what happened in the States. What happened in the States there? It's just shocking. The low deposit scheme, a policy announced in the last week of the 2019 election campaign, helped almost 20,000 first home buyers purchase a home this year with a deposit as low as 5%. Okay, it may sound good to the first home buyers. You may be thinking, fantastic, I only need to scrape together 5%. But the problem is, these are all props under the property market. They'll keep the price of property inflated. They're artificially helping the property prices remain higher because, well, you only need a 5% deposit. That's the thing. And I bet you the price of property has shot up too. So, now a further 10,000 places will be available will be provided to support the purchase of new homes or a newly built home. The additional guaranteed loans will be available until the 30th of June 2021. So there you go. You've got more houses until the 30th of June 2021. 10,000 more places. And we've seen here, building approvals. Notice the blue line at the top of this chart, everyone. That's built for houses. That's for houses. It's higher. The bottom line, that's non-houses, essentially apartments. It's taken more of a hit. Now, as an architect, we worked more. I mean, we do a lot of commercial education, different projects, bigger stuff, a lot of volumetric modular stuff that a lot of other architects don't want to touch, which it's kind of worked out well for us. But houses, most of them are speckies. Most of them, you won't have an architect on it. You may have a building designer, you may have a builder. They may do all the designs themselves. Some of them may even offshore the designs. Some of them, the designs were done years ago. They just reuse them and adjust the slab and a few little things for plonking it on a site. But there will be some economic activity there. Now, can the skills from a multi-res transfer over to housing? Sure, to some degree it can. Some degree it can, but the complexity of construction is nowhere near the same. And that has some benefits. If you're buying a spec house, there's less things that can go wrong. You're not in a body corporate that if there's concrete cracking or disasters or all these other things, you're not in bed with all of your other socialist friends in this little commune or dictatorship. Can you tell I'm a fan of body corporates? The scheme was premised on Prime Minister Scott Morrison's view that saving a deposit had become a more significant barrier to entering the housing market for first-time buyers. More so than the ability to service a home loan. Well, that's right. Honestly, that is. Saving a deposit is even harder. The scheme has supported up to 1 in 8 of all first home buyers who've recently bought a home, said Housing Minister Michael Sukkar. Essential workers secured 1 in 6 of the scheme's guaranteed loans. And people will be happy, but they're paying an inflated price for their property. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's the Candlelight effect, everyone. It's where money gets pumped into, wherever money enters the system, the money supply increases. That path in, that will inflate it. It'll be a bubble. And it's housing here in Australia. 52% of our wealth is in housing. Guys, it's nuts. Around 3/4 of guaranteed loans were taken up by young Australians aged between 18 and 34, with major cities attracting 62% of buyers and 38% in the regional areas. Almost 70% of buyers purchased a detached house, with 25% buying an apartment and 5% purchasing a townhouse. There are many schemes and grants available for first home buyers across Australia, which results in an unprecedented amount of monetary support from the government. Chief Economist of PRD Estate Agency, Dr. Dawati Madasoma, noted. That, combined with a historically low standard variable rate and the Reserve Bank of Australia commitment to keeping a low cash rate, now is an opportune time for first home buyers. Well, are they ever going to be able to raise the cash rate? How many people are getting now, jumping onto these loans, maybe pushing higher than they can? And if this recession continues, are they ever going to be able to increase the cash rate? When unemployment ticks down, they put up the cash rate, and all of a sudden people start defaulting on their loans. Will we have another? Is there now an expectation that if times get tough, Mortgage Keeper rolls out, or mortgage holidays? You know, if time gets tough, the bank will just give you a year off paying your home. I didn't think things like that would exist when I signed up for my mortgage. Eligible first home buyers are also able to take advantage of the Home Builder scheme, now in its 5th month. And the problem with Home Builder, I mean, there's two things. Home Builder, and we were looking at it, is simply designed to create economic activity. It's a 25 grand incentive to pull a project forward. And I know there'll be people saying, oh, that money should have gone into social housing, but you don't get the same bang for your buck. 25 grand in social housing is just 25 grand of economic activity. 25 grand in Home Builder is 25 grand plus a minimum of another $150,000 of economic activity. That's the point. Okay? That's reality. That's the idea behind it. But the problem with it is, it disincentivizes people from buying established dwellings. It encourages them to build new dwellings. So it means the tradie who's getting all the support from Home Builder, but may need to sell his house, is going to cop it on that end. So they, put the hand, the government will put the hand out to help you with one and then punch you with the other one in the back of the head. Fantastic. But people do they not see it like that? Or they probably don't care. They're all scared and worried. So as of the 9th of October 2020, state and territory revenue officers have received 11,367 Home Builder grant applications, with 2,330 coming from New South Wales. Some 1,500 New South Wales residents intend to build a new home or apartment, while 800 apartment for Home Builder? Okay. While 800 propose to rebuild under the Home Builder scheme. Home Builder has assisted first home buyers entering into the housing market. The first home builder loans rose dramatically in August to be 17% higher for the month, up 37% throughout the year, the largest increase since October 2009. The short-term stimulus from Home Builder is emerging in lending to first home buyers, the HIA chief economist Tim Reardon said. There will be an increase in work on the ground in the December quarter, and that will protect jobs in the construction industry. He's right, it will for now. But what's going to happen is, will it fall off a cliff next year? Will we have a fiscal cliff emerge due to the removal of home builder schemes? It's just going to be the problem is with all of this government stimulus, you get an artificial increase in market activity, and a lot of that is usually projects that were planned being pulled forward. So it's all feel good now to keep everything going, but it makes the hit even worse. Because you may be having zombie companies that shouldn't survive propped up. And then there'll be more calls for government stimulus and intervention next year. And, well, is there going to be any will to stop these programs? Because the average punter loves it, because they get into a house faster, they feel better. The people working in the construction industry love it because it keeps them busy. They don't worry about the future burden it's placing on people. Most people don't even care about that. It's someone else's problem. And politically, it'd be suicide to try and remove all of these support mechanisms. There's no political will. So we're stuck in a trap, guys. The extension of the first home loan deposit scheme came with new price caps. The Sydney cap rose to 950 grand from 700, and the cap in most regional towns is up to 600 from 450. Increasing the number of people eligible and rising the price threshold meant that the government opened the door for a larger group of first home buyers, and it also allowed the market to prop up higher value houses. 950 grand for a first home. What is that? That's what? Hang on. There's 950. 50 grand deposit. You can nearly get $1 million loan. That's terrifying. That's terrible. Let's have a look. CommBank home loan calculator. Why not? Let's see this. What are we looking at here, guys? Oh, there you go. $1 million over 30 years. I didn't even type that in, but that's kind of worrying. Your repayments are $2,700 a month. Wow. Oh, wait, sorry. That's the interest-only period. That's the interest-only period. Outside of the interest-only period, why did they do it like... I just literally typed it in. I haven't typed this in. $4,583 a month on $1 million. Let's change that to 950. Let's get rid of principal. And why would you do interest? Why did it? Should I be worried that it's defaulting to interest only, guys? For 5 years. Is that a bad sign? That it defaulted to interest only when I've just typed in here. I never look at interest only. That's kind of scary. So if you go principal and interest, 950, you're paying $350 a month. Let's change that to weekly. I prefer paying like that. So there you go, $900 a week. Get in your first home loan, guys. Help prop up that Sydney market. What do you all think? Think it's natural? Think it'll keep going? You worried about the fiscal cliff next year? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links you can find down below. Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve. You can buy merch from Teespring or HeiseSays. Use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or support us via PayPal. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.